Okay, up next. This is one that I saw reposted a lot in the Two Hot Takes subreddit, which I'm going to get a bot to like delete duplicates, but this one has been like popping off. So it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Picking the Same Name for My Baby as My Brother-in-Law's Unborn Baby? My 31 female husband, 33 male, and his brother, 36 male, aren't super close, but we all get along well. My brother-in-law is pretty nice overall, but he does seem to be a bit jealous of my husband and just everything we have. But my husband told me it's always been like this, so it's not really a big deal. I'm currently pregnant with a baby girl, our first baby, and we've been discussing possible names. There's one that we're pretty sure of. It's not super out there, but I think pretty unique nowadays, and I really like it. The issue is, this is the name that brother-in-law and his girlfriend had picked out for their baby 3 years ago. If it was a girl, because they didn't know yet, and the baby unfortunately died. His girlfriend chose the name from her favorite ballet, and I remember she would say that if she ever had a daughter, she'd name her that. We were at a family event over the weekend, and I mentioned that we had a name in mind. Brother-in-law looked kind of surprised and said that was the name they'd picked for their daughter. My husband said that we know, but we just thought it was a really nice name. Brother-in-law started asking if we could reconsider and that there are other names, and this one's really special to him. I said that we decided on the name, and he actually didn't even know if his baby was going to be a girl or a boy. He was upset and kept saying that we should reconsider. I got a little mad and told him that he doesn't own the name, and they should be hoping for a healthy baby rather than worrying about names. Brother-in-law dropped it after that, but my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, told me and my husband that we don't care and we're intentionally hurting him.
That's tough because when you are so set on a name, then it's probably really hard to give it up. But at the same time, I completely think there's got to be some sensitivity around that. To lose an unborn child is very traumatic. And yes, they didn't know if it was a boy or girl or whatever gender, but they had this name picked out, talked about it, honored this name. That baby was that name to them. So I understand how that would be so unfortunate to hear that from your family.
I'd have a nuclear fucking meltdown.
Yeah.
I would lose my marbles. I would lose it. I would absolutely fucking lose it. This is so unacceptable. And we talk about baby names have like come up a lot lately. I don't know if it's like baby season right now or like people get pregnant certain like 9 months prior, but like there's a lot of baby stories popping up.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not be okay with this.
No, me neither.
I think me and Justin just read a story where this guy chose the same name that his ex-girlfriend wanted for like their baby or something, but she miscarried or something like that. Similar lines. But like, this is, again, it's a really dark, sad situation that happened. But it also seems like OP and her husband only know about this name because the brother-in-law and his girlfriend had talked about it. It was from her favorite ballet. She loved this name, thought it was beautiful.
They didn't list the name?
No. No name.
Didn't want other people to... She didn't want people to do what she did.
Seriously, we need some ballet fans and we need to out this name.
Yeah.
But how terrible to be so unsympathetic and like, oh, well, we already confirmed the name. Well,
I know.
Is that name like, granted, I don't know how far along she was, like probably too early because OP implies they didn't even know what sex the baby was.
Yeah.
But like if that baby would have been born and then died 6 months later versus like preterm, would they still use that name? Because what's the difference?
Yeah. Or if they have another child. And I'm wondering.
Wait, I think it's about to get really worse.
Really?
Yeah. I was peeking at the top comment and I think it's about to get worse.
Fuck.
So it's got 54,000 upvotes at this time. And they go, you're the asshole. No, they don't own the name. That doesn't mean they're wrong, that you should reconsider when you've clearly known for years that it's special to them. Yeah. Especially when the mere fact you're having this argument shoots a gaping hole in your, quote, pretty unique reason for picking it. And you don't seem to have anything especially meaningful to counter with that. Editing, since people are bugging me to include it, Yes, the fact you didn't feel the need to clarify it wasn't your current sister-in-law, but your brother's late significant other who died while pregnant makes this infinitely worse.
Wait a minute.
I think she died before, I think that's why this all happened.
What?
What the fuck? I need to go look at OP's comments.
Yeah. Was that mentioned in the story from the start?
No. OP intentionally left it out. So, original comment was 17 hours ago. OP comment about 17 hours ago. And then that person, the comment I just read, edited it about 13 hours ago. So OP responded to their comment, which must have been that initial chunk I read, and goes, okay, maybe I should have been clear in my post. Sometimes when me and brother-in-law's girlfriend would chat, we'd just randomly go on the topic of wedding planning, baby names, etc. She mentioned that there's this name she likes, and if she ever had a daughter, she'd probably name her that. She had one for a son too. In fact, we didn't even know she was pregnant until after she died.
Wow.
There's a warm place in hell for people like this.
Like okay, I can see how someone gets a name stuck in their head, they can't get out of it, but then the minute that you talk to your family and they say please reconsider, how can you not? Like, how can you not have respect for them? There are so many fucking names in the entire world. Like, why? And it's almost like you said, it's almost like because that was their name, they like fixated on it and then they wanted to claim it or something. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Also, the comments where OP is writing, oh, brother-in-law has always been jealous of brother.
Yeah.
Like my husband.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not projecting? Because it seems like you're a little jealous of him.
Literally.
To steal his dead baby's name.
Yeah, literally.
And OP goes like, someone responded to OP's comment and go, I'm sorry, are you saying your brother-in-law's girlfriend died while pregnant? And OP goes, brother-in-law's girlfriend passed in an accident while she was pregnant. The rest of the family found out about the pregnancy after, except brother-in-law, who obviously knew from before. This is like, there's no question.
No. Yeah, and the only reason I was giving it grace in the beginning is because I was picturing like a Friends episode, you know, and she's like, well, I want to know, I won't take it. And then she says it and she's like, I love that name. And then she's like, you can have it.
Yeah.
But so I was thinking that situation at first, which is why I gave it a little bit of grace. This is so far from that situation. So far.
Yeah. Well, someone's kind of calling them out and goes, you're the asshole. I hope this is rage bait, because if it isn't, massive yikes. It's not hard to pick a different name. If it was a more generic name, it'd be a soft, you're the asshole. But you fully said it's a little more unique. Sure, name your baby this name if you want brother-in-law and brother-in-law's partner to have to look at that child for the rest of their lives and feel sick and sad.
Literally. That's what I don't understand is like, how could you
constantly stabbing them?
And why would you want to have, I just don't understand why you'd want to pick that name, because you'd always know that there's this tension with it. And your poor child has to be in the midst of that. That's so unfair.
Yeah. You're the one who gets to explain to your kid why her aunt and uncle can barely stand and look at her. Good luck. OP responds and goes, like, kind of quotes what they said. If it was a more generic name, it'd be a soft, you're the asshole. But you fully said it's a little more unique. Again, the name is from a very well-known ballet that I also really liked as a child and performed in a school production of. I meant unique as it's not so used these days. At least I don't think so. But it's not like no one's ever heard of it, and I'm sure a lot of people would get the reference. I do understand how it can be painful for him, but I also have a connection to the name. Can no one else ever use it? And someone goes, is it Odette? OP responds, yes.
That's definitely very unique.
It's not so used nowadays, at least in the States, but...
I mean, I don't know an Odette. Do you?
No. But like I have heard of it before. It's not like it's a name.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I figured it would be a heard of name.
Yeah.
I think the whole concept is that like, yeah, it's not just like it's Rachel or Emma, which are like names that are like a lot of people have those names. So it definitely is.
Yeah. Well, I just think like the last comment too from her is like, can no one else use it? And it's like, it's not the fact that like obviously there's going to be Odettes in the world that exist out there. Of
course.
But it's the fact that your family, this is your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And you're using it.
Yeah.
Like if you can't see the difference between the two, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
It's a direct stab
There was
versus
just-
an Odette on the street.
There was just so much tragedy there with people that you were so close with that, like I said from the start, I understand like the idea that you think of a name, you latch onto it, and then you just can't let it go. But when it's a situation like this, if my brother-in-law, if they asked me to reconsider after I told them that I really am fond of this name, then I would reconsider.
Well, and I just Googled names similar to Odette. Odessa, Ophelia, Cosette, Minerva. Don't name your kid Minerva. That's what a frat at the U called their bathroom. Delphine, Persephone,
So it's funny that
Yvette, Adele, Yvette, Annette.
so this situation's
Colette.
very separate, but reminded me of it when you brought it up because my brother just had a baby, which is so
Yeah.
amazing. And
They changed the name that they were originally going with, didn't they?
kind of,
A little bit, because I saw the name and I was like, wait, this isn't the one I heard.
yeah.
It's cute. I liked it.
Yeah, but basically, so it was this situation where the mother of the baby, my brother's girlfriend, she's from the Philippines, and it was very customary to, is that the right word? Customary? Am I saying it right? Okay. It was customary to name your child after the first letter of the parent name, if it was a female or a male. So, if it was
If it would have been a boy, it would have been named after
my brother,
an M name. Yeah.
right. And so obviously there's a select amount of options for each letter. And so her family member also had a baby recently, and it was a name that was very similar. But well, actually the names are very different, but they have the same nickname. And
God.
but what was funny is that my brother's girlfriend, and her family members, they weren't worried about it at all. It was my brother that was worried about it. He was on the edge of his seat, and he was just like, oh my God, is this going to be a big deal?
Oh, fuck.
But nobody cared. Nobody
Everyone's
cared
like,
at all. They're
whatever.
like, yeah, that's great. But no, it just reminded me of that because it's, I mean, depending on what you feel, what you think, these type of things are big deals, and sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are. So,
Well, and now that you say it like that, this could have gone very different where OP could have been like, hello, brother-in-law. As you know, we're expecting. And I also had this connection to the ballet that your partner that you lost had. And I was wondering if you would be okay if we chose Odette for the name as a way to honor her and your loss and everything else. And that could have
love
been
to have
received,
your blessing.
That could have been received so different. But it's now the fact that he's asked you to reconsider and you're still like, no, it's our name.
Yeah.
Just have some fucking empathy for someone else.
Right.
Who suffered a great, great loss.
Yeah. I know it's tough.
This person, 1000% could have handled this better.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like it.
Agree.
Okay, moving along.
Let's do it.